Hey guys, what is up? It's Frosty here, going to go over my brand new UI I'm going to be using in the World of Warcraft Midnight expansion. So as you know, there are a lot of add-ons that got kind of sunset during this most recent add-on apocalypse, which I still fully don't understand why that's happening, but I had to adapt regardless. I used to be a big LVUI, like enjoyer, I would say. My whole UI, I watched Fragments like back in, I want to say it was like late Warlords, early Legion, and kind of modeled my UI after his for a bit. And then I've taken the time now to set my own UI up. So this is out of combat currently. You can see, and I'll run through a list of my add-ons. It'll be in the description, and then I'll have it pop up on screen, probably above me, just to make it easy. So first, real simple. I'm still using details for my damage meters. The Blizzard damage meter, I don't enjoy the look of, frankly, so it's just a reskin. It's not really anything big. My bag add-on is Baganator. Just makes it all one big bag, but it separates out the regions, which I find pretty helpful. And I just don't like the individual bag slot things, like when they pop up separately. My raid frames are Danders Frames, which you can see here. Those are my party frames, and then my raid frames. Pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. Nothing big. I also just don't like the Blizzard default. So it's not, I didn't make my UI based off of anything in particular besides what I wanted to change the look of and what I preferred. Because I can move all these things in Blizzard's like edit mode, but I couldn't have them look the same way I wanted to. Because Blizzard, you know, their default nameplates, or not nameplates, but unit frames for the player had the picture on it, and I just don't care about that, if we're being honest. So I put myself here, my target is there. This is my resource. I'm on a Devourer Demon Hunter right now, so I have Fury up top, and then I have Souls on the bottom. These are, and this is Blizzard's cooldown manager right here. You can actually see I put Shift, I put Blur, Void Blade, Sigil of Misery, Vengeful Retreat, Void Note, like all of my utility essentially. And because I'm playing Annihilator, Devour Demon Hunter right now, Void Blade is just a gap closer. It doesn't really do damage for me or anything, so I keep it down here. Now, when I'm in combat, you can see I now get these up here, and it keeps track of my Reet, my Void Ray, my Void Meta, and my Disrupt. Normally Disrupt is down here, but I like having my interrupt up front top, my buff bar, and you can see my Fury slowly going up, my Souls going up, my target. And you can tell that I'm missing some buttons because I don't know what to put there. With the stat squish and the button pruning, I ran out of space. I've been playing WoW for over a decade now, and a lot of my buttons I have the same like convention use on each character. For me, typically, my E, Q, R, and T are all gonna be just like my main rotational abilities. They're gonna be like, I played Warrior for a long time, so my E was always Bloodthirst. My Q was always, for the most part, it was the, it's like the filler, is how I describe it. It's not like something that you're going to use. It typically requires a proc. My R on Warrior, for example, was Execute. My T was Rampage, so I have Consume on E, Reap on Q, Void Ray on R, and Void Meta on T. My F is always going to be my secondary movement ability, is how I describe it. So here is Void Blade. On my Warrior, for example, it's Heroic Leap, something that I can use, but it's not like my dedicated movement skill. G has, for the most part, been my AoE ability. It's been like Odin's Fury, it's been Blade Storm, it's been Ravager. I don't have one on Devour Demon Hunter right now, so it's empty until I figure out what to do with it. C is my primary movement ability, and I put it on C because playing Warrior, C for charge made it pretty easy. And then V will always be my interrupt, regardless what character. 1 is my defensive, 2 is my offensive cooldown, 3 and 4, typically 4 is like my AoE filler. For example, I used it for Whirlwind. And then 3 will be either like a secondary defensive or a secondary offensive, just to make it easy. There was a time in which I had Avatar and Recklessness as a warrior. So I would put those on 2 and 3 just to make it really easy to pop and pick. My shift keys, for the most part, are just options of the keys above them. So I've consumed magic on shift E just because it, to me, like consume versus consume magic makes it easy to remember. I vengeful retreat on shift F because I'm not going to be using it like that. And then I have my stun on shift C because for me it's shift move. I have movement on C and then anti-movement on shift C. I have my interrupt on V. I have my imprison, like my full stop, on shift V. Arcane, it's just my racial on shift 1. I always put my throw, so heroic throw glaive on shift 2. Why? I don't know. It just kind of happened. My health pot on shift 3. And then I have taunt on shift 4 because I don't really plan on using it too much. And if I do, I want my hand to be in a position where I can immediately pop a defensive or pop whatever I need to try to survive. And then I have my mount on mouse buttons. I use a Razer Viper wireless mouse. So I have these 2 buttons on the side and mouse button 1, mouse button 2. I will probably bind trinkets to shift mouse 1 and mouse 2. But other than that, that's everything here regarding cooldowns. I use the base Blizzard action bar because I ran into trouble with Bartender when I was healing and I couldn't use Bartender to do mouse overcast without like macroing it. I didn't feel like it. And it's built in with Blizzard. My nameplates are going to be Plater, which is super customizable. Not as customizable as it used to be, unfortunately. But I will take it. So this is pretty nice. I use baseline Plater for most things. My colors might be a bit weird, but I have found out that I struggle with seeing shades that are close together. So sometimes I just make things very, very easily apparently different. What else am I missing in terms of cooldowns? So yeah, I use cooldown manager centered to keep all of my cooldowns in the center of my screen, like centered horizontally. I don't care about vertically. I just want everything below my character, so I have a whole bunch of empty space. I can see the fight. I use DBM for my boss mods because I've used DBM forever, but that's just personal or guild preference, I guess. Every guild I've been a part of has required DBM, but I know some require bigwigs, so it's not really that big of a deal. I use Pawn just for like quick suggestions on gearing, especially for things that I don't know very well. It just makes it pretty easy. My cast bar is actually PlayerCastBars. I don't like the default Blizzard cast bar, so I just got this, which I really enjoy. I think it looks cool. It fits the aesthetic of the rest of everything. I can kind of put it where I want, change the size. It's all set. My class resource bar here is SenseiClassResourceBar, so I can like change the height and what it shows and everything. I don't think I want to put the names of the resource because I don't need to, for myself. Now, if you need to know that that's Fury and that's Souls or whatever, you can put the name, but for me, I just use it here. To get Baganator to work, you actually have to install a add-on called Syndicator. Do I know why? No, but they told me to, and that's good enough for me. So that's what I did. And my unit frames, just like these, my player and my target, and like any focus target, for example, are all unhalted unit frames. So the customization is pretty good. You can see everything. I use pretty basic. I just really like the solid bar style of unit frame. So that's me. That is my UI. You can kind of see where everything is when I go into edit mode. You can ignore these and this because these don't actually show. I just have to have this up for the Sensei class resource bar to work. Put my talking head up here, my tooltip down here, my quest, which I will move around eventually. Any extra abilities I just put here to make it very easy to see. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So if you need anything, you can drop any questions in the comments below. I will do my best to answer everything I can. If you want profiles, let me know. I can always export mine and put them up there. I'm not going to build a full pack because I'm still going to tweak it. There's going to be things that I probably find later as I get into more Mythic Plus, more rating, that I feel like I need to change or I need to find a new add-on. So I don't want to put this out as a complete thing because it's not. It will be constantly updating for at least the next couple of weeks. Yeah, make sure to stick around the channel. We're going to have some more videos come out, like my new main for Midnight, or maybe old new main. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. I've been really enjoying Devourer Demon Hunter for the past couple of days. So I'm going to put out a video on that. I'm probably going to try to do some Mythic Plus as well on this character, and probably my Warrior, probably my Paladin, and maybe a Shaman. I don't know. I still have to decide what my fourth character is going to be. But we will run all that in the future. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't. Hit the bell so you can see when my next videos are coming out, and make sure to stay frosty.